What's up everyone, Steven here from TechMaker Studio. This is building a decentralized Twitter clone with React.js and Aleph.im part 4. In the last couple of episodes, we've kind of just got everything set up to some extent here and kind of started roughing in a design style, which obviously is far from finished, but it at least looks a little less bare. So that's kind of where we are. In this episode, what we're going to do is go ahead and hook up the ability to post to the network. And we'll start by just hooking up the form to post to this chat channel that already exists so that we have that hooked up. And then we'll swap over to pulling from our own channel in the near future. So what do I mean by channel? If we look over at the Aleph documentation, which I'll link to, you can see that whenever you submit a post, you say which address it's from, the post type, content, so on and so forth. You have channel is listed out here. Now, I tend to think of channel, so you can see here in the documentation channel of the message, ideally an application would decide and use one channel. I don't actually know if that's right. I tend to think of these more like database tables. Well, actually, you know what? That actually, the documentation makes sense. Never mind. Now that I'm looking down here, so it's easier to kind of see down here. So you have channel test and then this type of my type. So I think the channel, if our application was in fact called Twitter, maybe the channel is Twitter. And then the type here might be like tweet or something like that, or tweets, like a database table name. These types are global. So if we go over to, let's go to explorer.aleph.im. So this is the channel, I believe, that this is coming through. Let's actually look really quick. So that would be the channel, and then that's the type. So I'm pretty sure this is the channel. If we click on this, so it should be the channel test archetype. I missed it. It got refreshed out of existence there. Here we go. Here's another one. Test archetype. No, the channel is test. So what is the type? So this is the type that's coming through here, test archetype. So what I would think we're going to end up doing, like if our app were called Twitter, which it won't be, it'll be called something else, which we'll figure out later. But like if we were Twitter, the channel might be Twitter, and then over here I might have like, if it was tweets, I might have twitter.tweets. Because otherwise, when you're looking at Aleph, if it was all tweets and you had a bajillion applications posting to the tweets channel, you could just see tweets, and if it says twitter.tweets, we can know at least we've namespaced it, and that looks like ours. Now, anybody can publish to that channel, which is part of the decentralization aspect, which we'll talk more and more about as we go, because it is a global database that anybody can post to, which means that it puts more responsibility on the application to filter out data that you don't want your application users to see necessarily or whatever. So in any case, this is exactly why when we loaded this up, we have data, even though we didn't actually post anything yet. So with that said, let's start by hooking up a form to post. And I'm going to copy Twitter again and have just a button over here, and it's going to pull down a modal over the screen with a form in it. So to get this going, let's go over to the code, which is here. And I'm going to look at my app here. So in this navbar account button, so navbar may be where we want to go. Maybe we should change this to be sidebar or something. I'm not 100% sure. But inside of this, I'm just going to, I guess what I'm going to do is right here, let's make this a new component that's like post form or something. And if we save this, it's going to freak out because we don't have that. I'm going to create a new file inside of post, and I'm going to call it post form.js. And what do we got in here? Let's copy all of post. Nope. All of post. Paste it in post form. We don't need that for the moment. Post form there. We don't need any of this stuff. And as far as what we're returning, for now, let's just return an empty div and make sure we get this set up with no errors. Okay, and what I want to do, and again, you'll notice if you kind of pay attention what we're doing here. What I tend to do is just do little bits at a time to sanity check so that we don't ever end up like building just a ton of stuff and nothing works. So we'll go to navbar here, and then we'll do import post form. Is it automatically going to find it? No. So we'll do from post form, and post is undefined. And post form.js. Post form. Okay, so now if we go look, you can see here we have this showing up just under this Twitter clone, create a post. So this is where we're going to just drop all the relevant stuff for this this interaction. So let's go over to the Bootstrap documentation, and let's look at the docs, and we want to look at components, I think, and then modal. And basically what we want to do is grab all of this. Let's see, does that work? Okay, so this is a fully functional example here. So I'm just going to copy all this stuff and I'm going to paste it here. And it's not going to like that because it really wants us to have all this stuff encapsulated in a single. You can't return you can't return like two elements. You have to have everything in a component inside of one element. So what we'll do is copy all this and bump it up in there, and then this comment is not recognized as a comment. These HTML comments aren't recognized as HTML comments in React. So let's click on launch demo modal. Something going wrong here. Let's fix that first of all. Let's class equals, we'll do a search, and it should be class name equals. So we'll just cycle through, and that's good. And it may be the case that we're not actually importing the Bootstrap JavaScript anywhere. Let's look at our index.js here where we have this pulled in. So we're just pulling in the CSS, and we really need all of it. So we'll do React Bootstrap import here just to like so we're not using the actual like we're not using React Bootstrap, I don't think. I think we're just down here with this. I think what we need, okay, so import the JS. Let's try this out. Let's see how this looks. Bootstrap dist.js, bootstrap.js. Let's see what that does. Failed to compile, module not found, can't resolve popper.js core. We're not actually using Bootstrap 4, but maybe that's not fixed here. So let's try to run npm install proper.js and see what this does. I'm going to pause the video. Well, no, there it goes. It finished. Okay, so let's start this back. and see if this worked. I hope it did, because I wasn't planning on doing this little detour. No, can't resolve popper.js core. Okay, I'm going to pause the video here and probably actually backtrack and fix this. Okay, so it looks like I may have just ran the wrong thing and I should have paid more attention. This was for Bootstrap 4. Down here you can see somebody saying for Bootstrap 5 do this stuff. So this actually matches the error that we were getting, because it was saying can't resolve popper.js core. So that's not correct. Core. And so hopefully this actually fixes the problem, because this really isn't intended to be a big Bootstrap installation episode. I will need to fix this in our starter kit, which is good to know. So let's see if this actually works now. Okay, so now if I click launch demo modal, now it's working, but we have a different unexpected problem. So we have the modal backdrop fade. What happens if I click that? Interesting. So the modal, maybe it's because it's inside of this absolute thing. Let's try something, because I'm trying to do this kind of in a quick copy paste way, and that may be hurting us in this specific moment. What happens if I cut this? So let's leave the button there for now. We may rename that, because it probably won't be the actual form. And then what if we go to app.js, and just down here at the bottom we just paste in this form here. Okay, and then let's come over here and refresh. Okay, so now it's sitting on top. So what I think is going on is this is in this, I think the positioning of this column is messing this up. Okay, so let's leave it like this for now. Okay, so that does work. And what I want to do is rename my post form to rename here. We'll say post button, or create post button, something like that. Update the imports, sure. Let's see how that worked. Post form should be create post button, and then inside of navbar create post button like this. Let's do a refresh and try it again. Cool. So now we have this here, and we'll move this into, I'm going to try to keep this as neat and tidy as I can. So I guess we can leave this kind of out here like this. So we'll make this the post form modal like that. And then I'm going to create a new component inside of posts. And we'll copy all of this again. Let's see here. So what do we call this? Post form modal. Yeah, there we go. And then inside of app, that was weird. Oh, it's because I copied the whole line, I guess. Okay, then in our app, let's cut all of this out. Sorry if this is like very monotonous. This is kind of tedious work right now, to say the least. I guess it's not that tedious. It's fine. I have no, I guess that's indented correctly. Excuse me. Okay, so now let's see. So we don't have our post form modal though. So let's do import post form modal from components post form modal. Looks like everything might be hooked up right now. Let me refresh just to be sure. Sometimes I don't trust the auto reload. Okay, cool, but it is working. Nice. So the next thing that we need to do is actually hook a form up right here. And then when we click post, obviously we want our post to appear. And that's going to take me more than just like 3 or 4 minutes. And I'm trying to keep these to like between 15 and 20 minutes. So this kind of, honestly, this episode was a little bit, I mean, it feels like a lot of work just to get a button and a modal hooked up. But I think I'm going to stop it here. In the next episode, we will get into the Aleph stuff and start building out the actual data posting to the network. Yeah. But anyway, I wish we would have gotten a little further in this episode, actually, but at least we have it working. But yeah, I'm going to stop it here, and I'll pick it up in just a minute in the next one.